Theme Park Tycoon 2. The game where you can build everything you want and have amazing... What is this? What is this blueprint? Dennis, what did you create? Today we will be redoing a few blueprints inside Theme Park Tycoon 2. Now I'm actually very curious how this is going to go. I haven't really done anything like this before. So yeah, let's just see what we're going to be doing. Now we got quite a lot of blueprints that are of course done already in the game. And I think just a great one to start off with is the corkscrew. Most of these are built with the basic editor. So it is definitely going to be a little bit challenging trying to replicate this layout. I'm definitely going to be able to build them on the same scale. But yeah, let's start with the corkscrew. So let's just place this off to the side as just like a reference. Yeah, I don't like this blueprint. This one is just extremely rough. The layout is strange. It doesn't do a lot. It's actually only one inversion, but I guess we will see what we can do with it. I will have to try and make the layout as close as possible. I'm not allowed to add like 10 extra inversions or extra layout elements. Yeah, let's get started. We will start with the stage, and in the background I have the layout just so I can sort of see how it should be, well, identical, since I am not the best at my memory about knowing how the layout was. But yeah, let's just first go up, of course. And I think this coaster layout probably has to be a lot taller to actually make a decent looking looping instead of this extremely small thing where you will probably get killed if you ride it. And let's put pivot offset on 2 just so we get a little bit of hard line. What I can see, the first drop is just a spiral down, which is interesting in what it's doing, but I guess we will also have to of course create that ourselves. Later in this video we will also be redoing 2 other roller coasters in the game, which, well, yeah, these also don't look the best. So okay, but we're first doing this one. So we're basically on the ground level at this point, and then we're just going to go up. The first point of the layout doesn't really do a lot. That's why I'm like, what's the point of this coaster really? But hey, we are at least making it a lot smoother and hopefully better. And I guess we can actually try and add also some airtime, at least in this hill right here, which I don't think it really does in the original. And then this turn has to still go under the chain lift, which as you can see, we don't have that much room left. So this probably has to go a little bit steeper in my design than, well, the blueprint behind us. But that doesn't really mean that it's worse. All right, and now we are here. That now means we have to create the looping, which is probably the hardest part of this whole layout. So let's go up like this. I hope we will have enough speed to do this whole, well, inversion. We will go slightly to the side, since otherwise we will crash in our own track again, which we don't want. And the top of this is of course going to be very tight, so we still want to go probably to the left. I hope I went enough actually. All right, that looks pretty good actually. And then, well, we just put this back on 0 and move that more. We actually have already the looping and back straight. Now the only problem I might have is that it won't have enough speed, but that's going to be a problem for later. So let's continue with the layout, which instantly goes up and around in a turn straight after, and then it goes, I think, under the chain lift again. Yeah, and I really wish I could add like more elements now, but we somehow have to through this hole right here, which, as you can see, is not the biggest hole, over that track but under the chain lift, which actually, by the looks of things, that fits. And while we do that, we also have to create a turn to the right, since it also goes to the right. I don't have that much space here, but yeah, it does this. And then we try and do an S-bend, which goes somewhat under there, which doesn't really fit. But this coaster is a lot harder to recreate, since the problem is that this coaster is built so small. It is very difficult to like sort of replicate, but I think I made it fit. On this one it also just goes over the ground, so there's not much I can do actually. And this coaster doesn't really have any brakes, but I'm probably going to add some by myself actually, like right here, so there's a little section where it goes straight, so I guess it will be fine if I add my own brakes there, right? We're trying to make this a better coaster, so I think it will need it. And if you connect it like that, there we go. As you can see, the layout actually looks pretty identical to each other. It just is a lot scaled up and actually built with the advanced editor and a lot smoother. So let's have a look at how well the new layout compares to the old layout. that's actually so much better. I am really happy with how this coaster turned out. Let's start with the next one. And I'm looking through the list, and I think the next one has to be the wooden roller coaster. This one, when it finally loads in, is a very strange, and it is more like an olden wooden coaster, but this, again, can be made so much better and smoother. So, let's get started. This coaster really reminds me of El Toro. I don't know if any of you guys have that too, but it's just so similar. So, well, of course, we're going to go up a chain lift. I probably have to go up quite a lot since... well, also the border is here. I might need to move this a little bit. Okay, let's try that. That should probably be a bit better. I don't want to make this too high, since, well, of course, the layout isn't too long. But I think I just left enough... out of park bounds. Okay, I left enough room for this turn. It's close enough. It's good enough, guys. Believe me. So, we'll of course just start with a very simple turn right here. And then it has a very small S-bend, actually, before you drop down, which we can see right there. And then this first drop is going to be a big one. This is a very big drop, but it is somewhat El Toro-like. So, I guess that's kinda nice. So yeah, this will be the drop. You will probably get some very good airtime. And then we want to go straight like this. Yeah, the scaling of this coaster is probably going to be all over the place again, but there's not much I can do. We of course try to improve the layout and try to replicate it as well as good as we can. I am seeing a slight problem in my plan, guys. There is a coaster in the way here. I'm I have another big problem. The plot ends here. Yeah, I cannot build further. Okay, let me buy some of this plot. There we go. That should be enough room. And I'm actually have to move this roller coaster. I guess we can like place it just directly next to it. That should be good enough. We'll already start the turn a little bit like that. And then we're going to go turning to the left and just dropping down, well, quite a lot like this. And then flat. And then we're going to go down again. And then we go up again. Now, there is another problem. This coaster is now in the way. We'll figure something out. I think I can fit sort of under here. And then from this point, we have another sort of airtime hill. And well, as you can see, the gap actually now to the station is a lot more than we have here. But we do need to create sort of the helix here. And then I might actually already have to create the brakes on this point, so we know actually where the coaster is going to end. So now we have to connect this part here with that part right there, which is challenging, I would say. So we actually have another airtime part here, which I guess if I do something like this, it works good enough. We will go down, and then, well, in this turn, not entirely sure what I'm doing right now, but it works. Hopefully are able to connect it like that. And then we have this coaster also finished. And as you can see, in terms of the layout, it also again looks pretty identical, just a lot bigger and, well, hopefully a lot smoother. Let me actually test it and see if this coaster makes it. And then let's have a look at, again, the comparison between, well, the old blueprint roller coaster and the one I just built. And again, the new roller coaster is just so much better than this, well, blueprint coaster Dennis built. Okay, well, we have one roller coaster left, but you guys have sort of seen how this now goes. So let me just build the last roller coaster in a very quick time lapse. And there it is. It is just a very simple roller coaster. I think we also should do a very simple one in this video. But yeah, this is of course the one that Dennis built. And I have to say, this is probably one of the better ones that Dennis built. But actually, like, as a blueprint, I actually really like this one. Mainly because this one is actually built with the advanced editor. But let's have a look at how my little bit bigger version, probably a little bit smoother version, is compared to what Dennis built. And here we have 3 roller coasters that have been improved from the standard blueprints in Theme Park Tycoon 2. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, leave a like on this video, and let me know if I should do this again, and if so, with what roller coasters I should do it. So guys, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will say, as always, goodbye.